GM. GM. Daily levels. So, just a quick one, as it's Sunday and I'll be doing the full weekly outlook later on the live stream. 4 p.m. UTC. Make sure you're there. So BTC is consolidating at the highs. Here we have it. Has defended the 1 hour trend all the way, been in a 1 hour uptrend. Exactly what you want to see is just this sideways action. Took out the highs last night, and I mentioned this, the volume was weak. So we had a clear volume divergence at the highs. That has led to a bit of a sell-off. A nice slow sell-off though, which is what you want to see. A little bit of heavy selling, relatively heavy selling into these lows. Wasn't able to push through. And we're back above the bands. So now on Sunday, and I think the most likely bullish path is that we take out the highs today at some point. Not really drawn to scale of time. But I do think we take the highs, then we drop back. And if it holds in this area, that's where we'll go for a proper breakout push. That is if the strong squeeze is continuing. If we're going to see a deeper correction, I would like to see it not go much deeper than the main block of volume down here. So anywhere down into the kind of 61.5 area. That would also make sense. I don't know why the fuck my trading view is so slow, it's annoying me. Alright, so where are we? There we are. Let me see. Is that still? Yeah, it's laggy today. Not sure why that is. Maybe I need to restart my computer. So if we do go down into here, and then up is the rough path. Now, of course, it won't look like that, but you get the idea. If we do drop back and we're remaining bullish, I think it can go as low as there to fake people out and then grind higher. So they're the two bullish paths. Honestly, there isn't anything bearish until 58.2. But that doesn't mean, obviously, the price wouldn't be bearish in between then. Like, if price goes down like this is obviously bearish. But there's no point shorting into that, because anything above 58.2 can just hold and just start to form a longer term range or a chop, right? So it could even drop down like this and up like that and over like this and just not trend, just go into consolidation, but eventually be bullish. So it only actually gets bearish below 58.2 for me. We have that chop zone from before. So obviously people are asking about, what about my long that's open, and will I start shorting if we reject this 58 or 64k level? I'm going to talk about that a little bit more on trade of the day. But for daily levels, I want to just cover this immediate path for Bitcoin. Bullish path to see for Bitcoin on Sunday. And then look at the market as we head towards the weekly close. And obviously I'll do a weekly outlook later. That's a very, very solid weekly candle on BTC so far. It's in many ways a mirror image of the reversal candle we had in January, just to a greater magnitude. Right? That was a smaller candle. This is a bigger candle. That was after a shorter decline. This is after a longer decline. But single candlestick analysis, I've said this a bunch. Single candlestick analysis is probably the weakest form of technical analysis. Right? You can't rely on candles. You can't rely on bullish, bearish, hammers, fucking dojis, all this kind of stuff. They really don't have any better expectancy than just a coin toss. And in fact, they're probably worse in the instance of something like a hammer or this, deep long wick reversal candle, and like reverse back inside. Quite often they perform worse because people don't tend to use them correctly, right? So those type of candles very often do produce moves like this one. This one closed red, right? But it was a deep sweep below and we got to move up. This one closed green, sweep below. Not a super strong hammer, but the following week we had a big move. This one closed green, obviously, that I talked about. And then this one's going to close green, potentially. You might look at that and think, wow, fucking all you have to do is just buy when they close. But no, you don't, because in theory, yes, but with a weekly candle like that, people don't actually use it the correct way. So if you're using the candlestick, you would say, if I'm using this candlestick as a guide, then I should buy the close, right? I will buy on the close, but my invalidation is below there. And then when it comes to actual trading, and especially greedy, impatient people with leverage, they're like, oh, well, that's a massive stop loss. I can't even buy there. It has to go to where? Like, it has to go to 100k just to get a 5R. That's not even worth it, right? Because you're looking at thinking, how long is it going to take to get to 100k? Probably months, right? It's probably going to come up and sideways and then break out and get there in like fucking end of the year. And then you're like, well, I've got 1 hour, so that's like, I'm going to risk $100 to make 500 across. And people get impatient. So what do they try to do? They try to view this hammer candle as, oh, well, straight up we go right away. So they're going to use a tighter stop loss, right? This should produce immediate continuation, you know, like this one did. This one just went straight up. And so they'll tighten it all the way up. And then like, now it just needs to get to the highs to get me a 5R. And that can probably happen in the next 2 weeks. Boom. Of course, what happens then, start of the next week, you get a wick down. Takes out those stops, away it goes. So always be mindful of that, right? Expecting immediate continuation from here is probably not going to be the direction. Even though there's examples of that exact type of movement, like several times. Literally, the March one, there was almost no pullback on the next week. The June one, same thing. And the January one. I'll be surprised though if that's the case. I'll be surprised. But we'll see. Overall for the market, this fucking computer's so slow, pissing me off. Not much difference today. Total 2, total 3. Total 3 green on the week. Very clear that altcoins have bounced harder, but they nuked harder. Ethereum's just weak. ETH BTC really showing nothing, right? That's a pretty bearish rejection. And that's it. Right, so I'm going to finish this. Not much more to say because I have a weekly outlook coming later and I want to restart this computer before I do trade of the day. In trade of the day, I'll cover the Bitcoin 64k bullish bearish paths, where I would actually short or where I would actually close my long versus keeping it open. GA.